In order to use the sensors, we first need to call the getSystemService method, passing over context.sensorService. In return, we shall get a SensorManager object. We can then invoke the getDefaultSensor method on it, passing over the ID of the very specific sensor we want to work with. In return, we shall get a reference for a sensor object that represents that very specific sensor. Doing so, we can then instantiate a class that implements sensor event listener, and then take that object we instantiated from that class. Here in this code sample, we instantiated an anonymous inner class that implements sensor event listener, and then we can take that object and set it as a listener. We just need to call register listener on the SensorManager object, passing over the reference for the listener we want to use and the reference for the sensor object we are interested at. The third parameter says how often we want to be notified of changes. Make sure that within the onPause you unregister the listener, so we shall avoid redundant consumption of our battery when we don't need the listener to be in action. Here in this code sample, within the onSensorChange method, I write a log message saying the value, the level of the light coming from the light sensor I'm using. Running this code here in our logcat, we can see the changes in the light, changes coming from the light sensor.